The first two rounds of Wimbledon are done, and it seems like the upsets are dying down day by day. But are we in store for more, particularly with Aryna Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek? I'll preview their third round matchups, talk Naomi Osaka's big opportunity, and discuss that wild match suspension with Ben Shelton. Hello, my name is Christian Bass-Knight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new content. That sounded Irish. Anywho, Ben Shelton, getting right into it, he was edged. He was edged by the Wimbledon officials and supervisor and umpire. He led Aussie Rinky Hijikata 6-2, 7-5, 5-4, and he was about to serve for his third round win. But that's when the umpire and tournament supervisor decided to suspend play. Crazy. They said it was due to darkness and them fearing for the player's safety with it being more slippery on the grass. People I saw, they were very mad and confused online and were saying, oh, it's that stupid curfew and stupid Wimbledon, their stupid traditions. But this was not the same thing with Taylor Fritz. Yes, the curfew is 11 p.m. and that is why the decision was made to halt Fritz's match, even though it was still about 40 minutes left to play. With Shelton, his match was stopped around 9:30 p.m. But like I said earlier, it was just mainly an issue with the darkness, as Court 2, unlike Court number 1, where Fritz played his match against Petchy, Court 2 does not have any lights at all. So it was hard for them to see out there, and plus it gets more slippery at night on the outside courts. I watched this match, and the umpire definitely should have stopped this one a lot earlier. And Rinky was complaining early on, like after the second set and in the early part of the third set, and asking him to stop play because of the slipperiness, and it was harder for him to see the ball out there, but the umpire just was not listening. And really, Shelton, he should have closed out the match. He had 40 love on Hijikata's serve at 5-3, but couldn't close, so that's going to make it even more of a tough pill for him to swallow out there. But Ben took the whole thing in stride. He said on Instagram, they didn't want to see anything else from me tonight, but I'll see y'all tomorrow. I mean, again, it sucks, but he's got to feel good about how he's only a game away, a service hold away from the win, so he's legit probably going to warm up for 10 minutes and so do all his match preparation only to play for 2 minutes. But I feel like these inconvenient stoppages have really been an issue all grass season. Of course, with Fritz here against Petchy, but also Sabalenka and Berlin, that was a whole thing as the umpire stopped play, even though there seemed to be plenty of daylight. But due to her opponent Masterova complaining, play was stopped. I think it just comes down to these umpires and supervisors need to just make better calls in these situations. Now, unlike the first 3 days of pure mayhem at Wimbledon, day 4 wasn't too bad. We had one big surprise, and that was 4th seed Jack Draper falling to 2017 finalist Marin Cilic 6-4, 6-3, 1-6, 6-4. This was a rather surprising result because while Cilic is very accomplished, he won the U.S. Open and is a former finalist here at Wimbledon back in 2017. Before this tournament, he had not won a slam match since the 2022 U.S. Open. He was also ranked 83rd in the world, but coming into Wimbledon, he did win a challenger title at the Nottingham 2 Challenger event, so he had a lot of confidence. Jack said himself that Marin just really bullied him around in this match, and it was not a bad match from Jack. Obviously not his best tennis, but it wasn't anything too terrible. He finished with 29 winners to 22 unforced errors, but Marin was just on another level today. He hit 53 winners to 34 unforced errors. Cilic also returned very well throughout this match and applied a lot of pressure on Draper and his service games from the jump, and the Croatian ended up winning 54% of his second serve return points. I think a lot of this boiled down to it being a matchup issue for Jack. And Cilic, he likes the grass a lot more. And it's easy to pin this loss for Jack on him not being able to handle the expectations of being the next big British hopeful and playing at a home major. But he even said himself after the loss that it's more about him just not being comfortable on the grass and Cilic outplaying him. He said, I've been really disappointed with the way my game's been on the grass this year. I don't know how I made the semis there and gave myself a chance of making the final. I felt great on the hard court, felt great on the clay. I felt like there weren't many holes, whereas as soon as I came onto the grass, I felt a big difference. So it's just something that I've got to keep in mind, how I'm going to develop my game for the long term next year just to get better as a player. I think there's a bit of a misconception. Just because I'm a 6'4" lefty, I must be incredible on grass. I obviously won Stuttgart, but I haven't had loads of experience on it. On the grass, you have to step up a lot more on the returns and all this sort of stuff. On the clay and on the hard, I stand back. I like to have time on the ball, whereas in these courts where I'm playing similar to today, you have to meet the ball on the baseline. Definitely a very solid analysis from Draper, and it was good for me to hear that because I was one of the ones who, like he said, I believe that he was just naturally good on grass, not only from that Stuttgart win, but that Queens win over Alcaraz last year. He did lose second round at Wimbledon last year. I mean, we all know he has never made it past the second round at this slam, and I feel like he kind of explained it. Like, he really does not perform well on grass, and maybe like that Stuttgart title and maybe the Queen's success, kind of anomalies, but maybe it's also due to because Jack, he did have a longer clay swing, a more successful clay swing compared to last year, where he didn't perform as well at the French and probably had a little bit more time to prepare for the grass. But I think bottom line, the biggest takeaway is that Jack isn't what we think on grass. He still is pretty vulnerable, and it makes sense because, you know, he had more success at Indian Wells, Madrid, Rome, Roland Garros, because the court conditions there notoriously play slower compared to grass. And we all know with Draper, his forehand can be so big, but in the crunch times and pressure moments, it can break down for him. And it's kind of a bigger take back, and you can't afford to have the shaky forehand on grass. It's kind of unforgiving in that nature. He doesn't have as much time on that wing. It's for sure something he can build on and work on in the future. He has time, being like 23 years old, but still, it's kind of crazy now that we got to re-alter our brains to think of grass being Draper's worst surface. Anyways, Jack's exit definitely opens up the draw in his section. It's a big opportunity for both Marin Cilic and Cilic's third round opponent, Jaime Munar. Munar would be playing for his first Slam second week appearance. Looking down, Flavio Cobolli and Jakub Mędrzyk is a good popcorn third round match. I expect that one to be a pretty nervy match because they know that not only is the fourth round on the table for them, but also the quarterfinals, because the winner of this one will be a sort of a favorite, as they know that Munar or Cilic is next, and neither of those guys are seeded. Now I want to highlight two heartwarming stories, two players who really did their big ones and kind of surprised us here. First, Zeynep Sonmez. She made history becoming the first Turkish player in the Open era to reach the third round of a major. She did this by defeating China's Xingyu Wang 7-5, 7-5 in the second round. This was a very high quality win because Wang, she had been playing well recently. She made the Berlin 500 finals, and she also defeated the 15th seed Muhova in the first round. On the men's side, Danish qualifier August Holmgren saved 3 match points to defeat Tomas Mahac 7-6, 6-7, 6-7, 7-5, 7-6 in 4 hours and 36 minutes to reach his first third round at a slam. Not only did he have to save 3 match points back to back to back, but in his qualifying rounds, he was 4-6, 1-3 down in his opening 2 qualifying matches, and he also had to save 3 match points against Watanuki. Holmgren, really a huge, unexpected surprise, yet heartwarming story. He is ranked 192nd in the world, at least coming into this tournament, and this was his Slam main draw debut, and his only main draw tour level wins were at Davis Cup, at least before Wimbledon, and now he's beaten the 23rd ranked man in the world, Tomas Mahac, in epic fashion. And he's 27 years old, and that goes to show that it's never too late to achieve your dreams and have your big breakthrough. Now, the big title favorites in the top half on the men's side, Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner, they definitely looking good. Novak, he defeated Brit Dan Evans 6-3, 6-2, 6-love, and that's a quality win because Evans had looked in better form in the grass lead-up tournaments, getting good wins over, for instance, Tiafoe and Tommy Paul, but Novak was absolutely ruthless out there. He hit 46 winners to just 14 unforced errors, and this is now his 99th Wimbledon match win, and he also broke a tie with Roger Federer for 19 third-round appearances at SW19. Novak next placed his compatriot Miomir Kecmanovic with the winner to face de Minaur and Holmgren. Then Jannik Sinner, he defeated Alexander Vukic 6-1, 6-1, 6-3. Sinner only needed 1 hour and 40 minutes. Jannik ended up with 38 winners, 11 unforced errors, and saved all 4 break points that he faced. Neither Djokovic nor Sinner have dropped serve all tournament, and it's looking again very likely that we will see them face off in the Final Four. Jannik's draw is looking better for sure after Tommy Paul, the 13th seed, lost to Sebastian Offner 1-6, 7-5, 6-4, 7-5. Giving some grace to Tommy, he did tweak his ankle partway through the second set, so I think that contributed to that loss. But credit to Offner, who now faces off against Grigor Dimitrov, who scored a very good win over Corentin Moutet in 4 sets. Sinner, he now faces off against Spaniard Pedro Martinez, who has been sneaky good, flying under the radar pretty much all season, and that'll be a great opportunity for the Spaniard. This marks his 4th Slam third round appearance. Now the bottom half of the men's draw, it's an absolute mess. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. First, looking at Taylor Fritz, he really impressed me. He got 2 quality wins, back-to-back 5-set wins over 6'8" French-speaking light skins. First in Petri Petitcart, then Gabriel Diallo. Things I think will get a tad easier for him. He faces off next against Davidovich Fokina. Fokina, he plays well on all surfaces, but I think grass is probably his least comfortable surface. I do think Taylor, he should win this match, but I wouldn't be so shocked if Davidovich Fokina was able to get the upset win. Then looking down below, you got Darderi and Thompson facing off. Then down below that, you've got a wide open section. Karen Khachanov will be the favorite as he's the only seed remaining. Although Nuno Borges, you got to watch out for him. I really could see him beat Khachanov for sure. Down below, you got to give props to Arthur Rinderknecht for backing up that win over Zverev and getting another hard-fought 5-set win over lucky loser Christian Garin. Then down below, things are even messier as no seeds remain at all. You got Joao Fonseca. I think he actually might be the favorite here. The 18-year-old, he is looking for his first Slam second week appearance and facing off against qualifier Nicolas Jarry. Jarry, he has looked good thus far, and he dominated Learned Etienne unexpectedly 2, and 3. Down below, you got a battle of the lefties between Cam Norrie and Mattia Bellucci. Both of those guys got quality wins, Bellucci beating Lehechka in straight sets, and then Norrie taking out Tiafoe in 4 hard-fought sets. I think we're going to see a Fonseca-Norrie 4th round match here. Then last but not least, Carlos Alcaraz, he faces against Jan-Lennart Struff, who beat Felix Auger-Aliassime in 4 sets. Felix really had no business losing this match in 4 sets as he had 3 consecutive set points in the second set, but you know Felix is going to do Felix things. Then up top you got Andre Rublev. He faces off against veteran French qualifier Adrian Manarino. Now talking about the ladies a bit, Iga Swiatek, she had a little bit of a scare, just a tad bit of a scare against Katie McNally, but she ended up steamrolling the American in the end, finishing 5-7, 6-2, 6-1. McNally, she did really well to recover. I think she was down 4-1 in the opening set, and I thought Iga would like steamroll 6-1, 6-3 or something, but McNally for sure upped the ante, and she started incorporating more variety, was even more consistent from the ground, and really disrupt Swiatek's rhythm. After the opening set, Iga, of course, went off court and came out much more solid and cut down on the unforced errors and really just outlasted McNally physically, and she was just simply more fit than Katie. It is good to see McNally back. She was out for a bit due to a shoulder problem, and she showed today that she definitely has the game to challenge the top players. I think this is just what Iga needed. She even said herself that the Bad Homburg courts, while she was able to get good match reps there, the courts there are pretty different from the courts at Wimbledon, and she was able to get more match reps on center court, which she probably will play on for her 3rd round match against Danielle Collins. Collins, she looked good. She won her 2nd round match 6-4, 6-1, and it was very clean from her. She finished with 27 winners to just 12 unforced errors. Danielle, I remember she said last year that it was a big dream of hers to play on center court, at least singles, and she probably will get it. She could be nervous though, and this being a huge occasion for her, and just be more subdued, but I highly doubt that she'll come out like flat. I think that if anything, she'll come out guns a-blazing and will be more fired up, like at least internally. She might not show it like outwardly, but internally to get a win on center court, especially against Iga, because we all know those two have a little bit of history. Collins, of course, she's coming into this one winning their last meeting from the Rome round of 16 this year. Danielle won that 6-1, 7-5. And you got to give Collins a better shot considering how she beat Iga on Iga's best surface, clay, and now here we are on the faster grass. which should aid Collins more in that Danielle will be able to better rush Swiatek and that sometimes shaky forehand of hers. I think that Danielle, if she's going to win this match, I think it needs to be in straight sets. The only 2 times that she has beaten Iga were in straight sets. She had a great opportunity to beat her multiple times when things got pushed to the distance, particularly from the 2024 Australian Open, but wasn't able to come out on top. So if things go the distance, I would favor Iga in this one. And that's ultimately why I see Swiatek taking it. Although I would not be surprised at all if Collins got the win. I really can see both things happening. So it's kind of a tough one for me to call, but I'll give the slight edge to Swiatek, considering how, for one, she has more experience on center court, and I just think that in the crunch time, she would be more clutch. Now, this whole section is brutal. It's probably the most brutal little section we have, as the winner of Swiatek Collins could potentially face the 2022 champion, Aryna Raducanu. Raducanu absolutely crushed Maria Sakkari today, which is no surprise. But Aryna, she now has a rough 3rd round match against Clara Towson, who defeated Anna Kalinskaya in the 2nd round. So I wouldn't be totally shocked if Towson did her big one and defeated Raducanu there. Now, the most intriguing matchup on day 5, at least on paper, is by far Aryna Sabalenka against Emma Raducanu. These two have only played 1 time, and that was in the 2024 Indian Wells tournament, which Sabalenka won 6-3, 7-5. Emma is a quality top 30 player, for at least we can say that. She's not ranked top 30, but she gives like top 30 with her form and play. And I think that she can trouble Sabalenka for sure, especially if Aryna is not on her game. And Emma's coming into this match on a lot of confidence, defeating the 2023 champion, Marketa Vondrousova, who a lot of people thought would be a big dangerous floater in this tournament, and she beat her convincingly. And Vondrousova defeated Sabalenka 6-2, 6-4 in the Berlin semifinals, so that's going to give Emma even more confidence. That said, Vondrousova did not play at the same level when you compare her form against Raducanu compared to Sabalenka. I think Emma has a legit shot, I guess, at getting the... I think Emma actually has a legit shot at getting the upset. For one, grass is her best and favorite surface, and then 2, the crowd factor will be huge, and we know sometimes Sabalenka doesn't handle these type of occasions the best. She did a good job of it at the US Open from last year, so this would be a great test, and the center court crowd, they're going to be like really loud behind Raducanu. We could be in store for a Serena Watson 2.0. If you know, you know. But I think that Sabalenka, she's going to take this one in less dramatic fashion compared to that match. I see this one being like a 6-3 or 6-2, 7-5 type of thing for her. The winner of Raducanu Sabalenka will face the winner of Mertens Svitolina, so this section definitely is really tough. Now, a section that isn't that tough, to be honest, is Madison Keys's, who will be the heavy favorite to make the quarterfinals and potentially face Sabalenka. Keys is guaranteed to not face a seed at least until the quarterfinals, as she will now play Laura Siegemund, who defeated Leylah Fernandez 6-2, 6-3. On paper, Keys should be the big favorite against the German, but Siegemund is pretty tricky, especially on grass. And I remember last year she pushed Raducanu to 3 sets, who, of course, Raducanu is great on grass, so you got to watch out for Laura. And she also got a scalp this year against a top 10 player, defeating Xinwen Zheng in the 2nd round of the Australian Open. So keep your eyes peeled for that match. Up top here, you got really totally unexpected 3rd round between Solana Sierra, a lucky loser from Argentina, and then Kristina Buxa. Really, if we're being honest, both Katie Bolter and Donna Vekic should be utterly ashamed that they lost those matches, but credit to Sierra and Buxa for doing their things. 4-time champion Naomi Osaka, she made her way into the woman in 3rd round for the first time in 7 years, earning an impressive 6-3, 6-2 win over Katerina Siniakova. That was a quality match from Naomi, especially considering how Siniakova, she not only is good on grass, but she just beat the 5th seed Shin Wen-jung in 3 sets. Granted, Siniakova didn't play nearly as good as she did in the opening round compared to the second round against Naomi, but still a win is a win, and it was a good performance from the Japanese woman. With the win, Naomi clinched her first non-hard court slam 3rd round since Roland Garros 2019. It's just utterly crazy that it's been that long, and Naomi is now trying to make her first slam 2nd week appearance since the 2021 Australian Open, which again, it's just crazy. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova is her 3rd round opponent, and this will be her biggest test, I feel, at least in this section. Pavlyuchenkova has been playing very well this grass season, especially at Wimbledon, getting 2 high-quality wins over quality opponents in Ayla Tomljanovic in round 1, followed by the 31st seed Ashlyn Kruger in the 2nd round. This one is going to be really, really tight, and I think she'll be cognizant of the hurdle she'll have to overcome and finally trying to make that slam 2nd week appearance. I think I'm going to side with Naomi here, mainly because of the head-to-head aspect. She has beaten Anastasia very comfortably in their 2 previous beatings. Granted, they were when Naomi was in her peak in 2019 and in 2021, but still I have a feeling that matchup-wise this will favor Naomi. And if she does get over the hump, she would be a heavy favorite to make the quarterfinals here, as you got Dan Perry against Tone Cartal. Perry, she is ranked outside the top 100. Cartal ranked outside the top 50, so you can't get a much better draw than this really for Osaka, who is unseeded. Being transparent, I was really surprised that Perry defeated Schneider, especially so comfortably, but again, this opens up a great opportunity for Naomi to win. Now, while I believe that Naomi can definitely make the quarterfinals, I think that undoubtedly Amanda Anisimova will be the favorite to make the semifinals, as she is the highest ranked woman remaining in her section and in, I guess, Osaka's section. She now faces Dalma Galfi, who defeated Haddad Maya. I expect Anisimova to clear that match. I do think that Linda Noskova could pose a big problem. She faces against Kamila Rakimova, who defeated last year's finalist Jasmine Paolini. But regardless, I had Anisimova make the semifinals before the tournament started, so I'm going to be sticking with her to do so, and her draw looks very, very good for that to happen. Now, going over the bottom half results, Mira Andreeva, she is still alive, has yet to drop a set. She will play Haley Baptiste, who got a high-quality win over lucky loser Victoria Mboko, 7-6, 6-3. Then down below, you got another high-quality matchup between defending champion Barbora Krejcikova and Emma Navarro. I will favor Navarro in this one. She has looked very, very clean thus far in her 2 matches, routing both Kvitova and Kudermetova. Down below, big opportunity here in this section, which formerly belonged to Jessica Pegula. I don't know, Elisabetta Cortaretto, she might continue her run on into the quarterfinals because she absolutely routed another American, Katie Volinets, only dropping 4 games, although Belinda Bencic will have something to say about that for sure. Then up top, you got Ekaterina Alexandrova, who really has her best opportunity maybe ever to make that maiden slam quarterfinal. So we'll see if she has the moxie or enough moxie to finally get over that hump. Then all the way at the bottom, Coco Gauff section, Diana Yastremska, who beat Gauff in the opening round, she escaped. She got a tough win, 7-6 in the 3rd set, so props to her on backing up that win. She now plays Jessica Buzas-Monero, who defeated American Sofia Kenin 6-1, 7-6. Then up top, you got 2 seeds in Daria Kasatkina and Lyudmila Samsonova. Samsonova should be the favorite to make her maiden slam quarterfinal like her Russian sister Alexandrova, but again, with her, it's also a mental hurdle to overcome. That is all I have for this Wimbledon round 2 recap, and let me know your thoughts on everything I covered in this video, especially, whether you think we'll have any more upsets, particularly with Sabalenka and Swiatek, and if you think that Naomi Osaka can take advantage of her opportunity and break the curse. By the time that many of y'all have seen this video, Naomi probably would have finished her 3rd round match, so discuss in the comments, if you will. If she won the match, woo, good for her. If she lost, yikes. Again, make sure y'all subscribe and click that notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my day 5 recap video. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I will see you all next time here on Christian's Court.